Says we're going live. We are live.
Stream is live.
I want to thank everybody for joining in. We have a pretty good show here, and I'm going to introduce the guys in a second. But first off, I want to kind of tell everybody, we know there's a contest going on. We know we're giving away a golden ticket. Stay tuned. We're going to have info on that. But everybody who's in the thread or in the chat is getting their name written down and into a, what are they called? Spreadsheet. That's it. And, we'll go from there. There's a familiar face right in the front row here. That is Austin Tudor. He's been with THP Fringish for a long time. Granddaddy Hall of Famer at this point, I would say.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to let Austin kind of introduce the room, and then we'll start talking about performance gear and everything else. So, Austin, go ahead.
Yeah, guys, we want to, from the Callaway Performance Gear team, we want to thank you guys for jumping on. Pretty unique experience where we're not talking about clubs or balls. We're talking about performance gear. And you guys all know that we have a swear jar in this building that we don't call it soft goods because we pack performance in all of these products. Oh, here we go. Already coming in, Tevenor.
Wow.
Hey, I can't help it.
Wait until the goat comes in here.
Does Austin get a sport coat for this?
He does. It's gold.
That's not distracting at all there, Mike. So anyway, let me introduce this team that has established this category as not soft goods, but as performance gear. And this team's led by Mr. Brian Lucas, our senior director for this product category. Brian, go ahead and just give a quick little snippet on yourself, and then we'll move over to Tom.
Yeah, so thanks for the opportunity today. We're excited about this time. We have spent the greater part of the last 4+ years taking our performance gear category from soft goods to performance gear and just taking it to another level and looking after. I said early on when we all kind of arrived that we were going to look after the blocking and the tackling, and then we'll get to the exotic plays down the road. But we have to get the foundation right, and we have to look after our quality. We have to player validate product. We have to really look into, all of the features and the benefits of the golf bags that you're looking for. And so we've been listening a lot. We've been implementing, and I think what you're seeing now, because this entire team has had a say in what we're doing. You're seeing the fruits of our labor and of your comments and thoughts and feedback. So really, really excited about where we're going, and opportunities like this we really embrace. So thank you very much. I've been in the business for over 30 years, and I've never been so excited about kind of where we are and where we're going. So that's it.
Yeah, and then I'll pass it over to Tom Manthe, our director of product. Tom's been with the company for 3 years, almost to the date.
It'll
right?
be Saturday. 3 years. You have it on your calendar. Your emails coming out real soon. So yes, 3 years, almost to the date, and really taking Brian's vision of making the best performance gear in the space. And it was really fun coming on, and the whiteboard that was, because this seems like just throughout the industry that this is a category. It certainly doesn't have as much support at the brand level as the hard goods side does, the golf ball, the driver. So from a whiteboard perspective, looking at what we can do product wise and really giving the users unique innovations and really thinking about the things that can make the walking experience from a golf bag perspective the best ever. From a glove perspective, what can give the best feel and durability, as we're seeing some of those comments and questions come through. From a headwear perspective, the look. So the white space that this was, I think over the last 4 years, we've done a pretty good job of setting this on the rails and have some pretty good product that we're going to be talking through here today.
And then just across the table from me, we have Corinne Harris, who's been with the company for 11 years.
Yes, 11 years.
Product manager for gloves, headwears, accessories. She's done it all from a development standpoint as well. So Corinne, introduce yourself and tell the group about you.
Yeah, hi. So as Austin said, I've been here 11 years, started out in development actually. So I'm very, very close to the product. Some of the stuff that you guys are actually wearing and using now, I worked on specifically. Weatherspan is a big one. But yeah, I mean, really seeing the transition from when I started to now is incredible. I mean, I think we finally have a really solid team now. Innovation is something that we ingrain in our products, and it's something we talk about on the daily. We're not just launching a bag or a glove. There's some story into it, and we have really, really good relationships with our suppliers, engineering team. We are one of the only brands that has an engineer specifically dedicated to our product, which is huge. So really this product is amazing, and I'm glad we're already seeing comments from you guys that you're using the product and enjoying it. So thank you for being our customer. And I'll pass it over to Brett.
Yeah, and Brett Robinson is our product manager for golf bags and travel gear, and also works on the development of some of our tour staff bags and things like that as well. Brett just celebrated his 4th year with the company.
Yeah.
And he's sitting back there in the corner, kind of hidden a little bit. But we've got a tight screen.
There's no 14 ways on a tour bag. Did you know that, Austin?
Hey everyone, my name is Brett. I joined Callaway in 2020. Started off very similar to Corinne. Started off on the development side. Developed all of Callaway and OGIO golf bags, and then about 3 years ago now transitioned into product management. So managing our golf bag and travel gear categories. Before that, I played Division I golf, so really played golf my entire life and truly love these products. Love developing them, love designing them, love every single part about them, and just seeing the innovation over these past 3 to 4 years and how much we've grown. Really prioritizing. We knew we had good product when we all got here, but really seeing how we could get that product from good to great. That was a big priority for everyone in this room. And I think not only have we done it, but it's only getting better moving forward. So excited to show you some future product, and yeah, excited to chat.
Can I share a quick story to bore everybody real fast that I share with Austin is when I got to Nashville, I got invited to play at this pretty nice club. And I've made this comment on THP for years that I always found it a little odd, but I get paired up with a member and he had a bag that was $5,000 or $6,000 worth of equipment in there, mostly Callaway, of course. Now your stuff's a little less expensive than that, which is kind of nice. And he had it in an old ratty Founders Club bag. And it blew my mind. And I made this comment to him that it was like a few years ago when the guy had a really nice stereo system in an old beat up Subaru. And his comment in return was, my wife drives a Subaru. He didn't really get the joke, but I still say that about golf bags. And we see it constantly that it's an underthought of and underappreciated element of golf. Can you kind of walk through how hard that is to change, other than adding more freaking dividers, which is horrible in every way whatsoever? Can I get a count in the room? How many of you guys on Team Performance Gear use a 14-way bag? That's what I thought. It'll be the #1 seller by every brand I talk to, and not a single person at any brand would ever be caught dead using it.
We don't.
Organization.
We can't.
Well,
And they should all come with a ball retriever and a belt clip cell phone holder, because that's the market. And I get it. I completely understand. But Austin, can you kind of walk through, or direct to the person on the team that can walk through what's new in golf bags and the hurdle that you guys have to get over, that it's not just a golf bag?
Yeah, I'll probably send that one to both Tom and Brett to go through kind of where golf bags have been, where we are now, and where we're going with future innovation.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique space. As I mentioned before, when the other parts of the brand are getting so much attention, coming into this, there's so much opportunity in terms of innovation. So what can you actually do? How can you revolutionize a bag. It doesn't stop at a bag, obviously glove and hat as well, but the bag definitely, from an opportunity to get innovation, features and benefits in there, there's a lot more opportunities. And we've talked about this a lot. It feels like, short of the PU, the fall leather that has come out over the last couple of years, prior to that, it feels like the greatest revolution within golf bags. And I remember it because I was in high school carrying a Payne Hoofer at the time, was the Izzo second strap. So it went from a single strap to, for $20, you can buy this extra strap and attach it. And now you have a double strap. That was 1993. 1993, over a long time ago. I'm not even going to talk years.
We won't.
Let's not.
That felt like prior
It's only 10, right?
to this, the PU advancements, Stitch really coming out with that, felt like it was the closest thing we had to an revolution within the golf bag space. So, Brian coming in, Brett coming in, and then me coming in after, really looking at what we had in terms of opportunity. There's two, right?
Definitely a 14-way user here.
Right, yeah.
Iron covers.
I never thought we'd go iron head covers this
Oh.
early.
Talk about it in the week.
Yeah.
You got to protect those. So really,
Sorry to cut you off.
all good. There's obviously two. You have cart bag and you have a stand bag or a carry bag. In between those two, really focusing on different technologies, trying to create, on the stand bag perspective, the ultimate walking experience. Now, there's a lot that falls under that umbrella, right? The ultimate walking experience. Is it within the comfort of the strap, the width of the strap, the thickness of the strap, the material on the strap, how they actually connect back to the bag? Are they offset? How are the adjustments? Does it go on easy? So many different things within the strap, but then also the usability, where you put the bag down. Do the legs come out easy enough? Sure do on a concrete floor inside commercial grade carpeting, but what about on 4 inches of wet rough on a side hill lie? So making sure there's a lot of features and benefits that enhance that walking experience. And and Brett, you can take me through the details.
I feel like he's seen me play before.
And then also on the cart bag side, a very different experience than what the walker is getting. The cart bag, it's attaching to the back of a drive cart or a push-pull cart. And how does it rest in there? How does it sit in there? 14-way, yes, 14-way for us is huge. How do we have the organization up at the top? And it's been mesh for so long up at the top. Is there a better way to do that? Is there a better way to organize in terms of pockets? And those of all those things have been items that we've been focusing on for the last couple of years. And Brett, if you want to dive into some of that specific technology, lowrider and our strap fit system.
And you've got a ton of brand fans of those technologies listening right now.
It's great.
No, absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head there. Enhancing it for the walker, enhancing it for the individual that's using the cart. And truly one of our best innovations over the last 4 years is going to be that lowrider technology, as many of you guys know. Starting in 2022, we introduced Lowrider 1.0, which was a seamless integration for those push and pull carts, really enhancing the experience for the individual that's using those push or pull carts. Everyone dealt with it. Everyone had those bags that were twisting on the side hill lies. Lowrider 1.0 fixed that. It revolutionized the space for push cart users. And that was actually during COVID too. No carts were available. And we acted fast on that and integrated Lowrider 1.0. What we've done for 24, as you guys may know, is we dropped those legs even further. We knew we got to keep innovating year after year after year. And that's when Lowrider 2.0 was introduced. Some of the feedback we were getting with Lowrider 1.0 was that the legs were still hitting on the moto cart. Sometimes I'm riding in a moto cart. Sometimes I'm push or pulling on a trolley. How can we create a lowrider technology that seamlessly integrates within all those? And that's exactly what Lowrider 2.0 did. And it's been a huge success for us so far. So we got to make sure that we are continuing to press the gas on Lowrider and just keep innovating in every way possible.
Yeah, and we took them through, real
Go
quick.
ahead.
Yeah, we took them through at the Granddaddy I do the Lowrider Challenge every year where we go to the ECPC and I set up like a Formula F or F1 course for them to go through to push it, and they have to go as quick as they can through it, showing the resiliency to twist that technology has. The Lowrider Challenge is now famous on THP. You're seeing
Race
all of this,
verified.
you see all these guys coming through. They have firsthand experienced the innovation that is Lowrider.
Let me ask you a question in regards to golf bag technology, as you're putting it, as a person who actually had a company that puts innovation into this. How hard is it to make changes to something that for decades and decades it has to be the same shape and size? You know, obviously there's things that can happen. There's changes to be made, but how hard is it to kind of reinvent the wheel on a product that, and I shouldn't say product, I should say sport, where change is feared more than just about anything?
Got it?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, but it's a fun one. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So it certainly hasn't been easy, but it certainly has been fun, and the product can attest to that. So what we've been able to do, you know, a lot like on the hard goods side, the prototyping has been the biggest challenge. So from a prototyping perspective, you do a design, you send it off to your factory. The factory makes it 3 months later. Now you get it. You get one shot with that. Oh, I wish I would have changed that. I wish I would have tweaked that out. Then you send the design back. Now you get it 3 months later. You're already 6 months in. It goes really, really quick. So what we've been able to do is really focus in on these rapid prototypes, and the 3D prototypes in particular that are actually workable. And we have a printer in-house now that can produce those workable 3D prototypes that allow us to make changes very quick. So that from a technology perspective has allowed us to do a lot of things, essentially abbreviating what would be an otherwise very, very long timeline to get this product to ultimately market. Because as Brian said, we want to make sure this is tested not only by the individual everyday player, but also the tour players, and it's put through the rigors of the real world and not just, like I said, the commercial grade concrete floor of an office.
So I'm reading through these questions, and there's got to be hundreds and hundreds of people saying, what's next? What's next? We're near the end of a product life cycle, so to speak, in terms of the golf world, with January around the corner. What is next? Is it more colorways on the popular bags? Is it adding a 16th divider for the people who need extra help? Like, what's next in the world of golf bags?
Well, I'll tee it up, and then you guys can take it from there. But I will say we want to let everyone in the Sun Belt markets, call it Palm Desert, call it Florida, Arizona. We already have a couple of our 25 bags that are brand new out in the marketplace. And one is cargo, which Brett will walk you through. The other one is HL0. This HL0 bag, I'll start with that. We think that it could be the swap out bag for every club across in North America and globally moving forward. It's that the caddies that have put this on their shoulder, and we go to caddies to validate our product. They call this bag their favorite bag right now. So we've got a real gem in Hyperlight Zero. We've had a lot of commentary today on Lowrider. We're working on next gen Lowrider. Our competition is trying to knock us off right now. We're starting to see it. We're a step ahead of them. So we've got some really exciting things coming down the road for the Fairway family to start for the next gen Lowrider. And then this cargo bag that Brett will walk you through. Sun Mountain C130 fans out there, and there are a lot of them. We've got a bag for those fans that they can come over to Callaway. So I'll leave it up.
Can we hope it doesn't fall over when you stand it upright like the Sun Mountain one?
Standing up on its own right now. Look at this.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, it's teed up right
I
there.
know. So we've tested this, and we'll make sure we get the video out to you guys.
Let me jump in real quick. And Josh, you didn't quite hit this, but this is the first time anybody's covered the new 2025 product. So this is completely an exclusive to our THP family and members and all of that. They're getting a sneak peek long before anybody else. This is typically what happens at the Granddaddy. So they're getting it even a month earlier than the Grand Day, those that are willing and lucky enough to be on right now. So a unique experience for us and for THP. Yeah, it's super exciting to be able to tell you guys about this. So go ahead, Brett.
And they are excited.
Good.
Yeah. So for cargo, talking about balance, we did a test about 4 or 5 months ago, and we got it.
What is cargo?
Oh yeah, cargo. What's bigger than a C-130? A cargo ship. So our 2025 Callaway cargo bag is the biggest and best cart bag in the space now. And when I say biggest, largest, 45 liters of capacity. Our closest competitor right now at the C-130, about 38 liters of capacity. So we have 7 more liters of capacity.
Good God.
In silhouette. That anyone, if you're throwing drinks, you're throwing balls, you're throwing tees, jackets, first aid kits, speakers, it's all gonna live within cargo.
That's $750,000 in Carlsbad.
And someone had mentioned earlier in the comments about magnetic pockets. We've got magnetic pockets on our
Yeah.
tent here too,
Magnetic
so.
pocket right there, right on the front, easy access. Awesome feature within that. Total of 16 pockets on this bag, 45 liters. This thing really is everything. 4-way top handle, so it's accessible from every angle. If you're grabbing it out of the trunk of your car, getting it out of the cart, this thing is going to be the bag for you if you do like that, this style of cart bag. But alluding back to the balance, we did a fun little test. We'll make sure we get the video out to the chat later on. But we did a test, cargo bag for C-130, fully loaded up. How many water bottles could you get in before the bag fell?
Water bottles.
And could have some guesses in the chat. I'll let you know, C-130 came in at about 7 water bottles, and then it tipped over. Does anybody want to
29.
guess? Does anybody want to
Just
guess?
for reference, I mean,
15 water bottles for Callaway cargo before we had any
Double.
type of lean to it. So that just shows how much this bag can store. And for the individual looking for this max capacity cart bag, the Callaway cargo is going to be the one for you.
Are you going to bring this one, Brett, to your next round?
Hey, if I have to store some drinks and if I gotta bring some stuff, some speakers and everything, oh, I'm bringing Callaway cargo. You better believe it.
I like it. I like it.
I don't remember the last time I walked, so I should be a Callaway cargo user.
Yeah, I mean, this body wasn't built by walking. But just somebody asked if you can get it with legs. I think that would be absolutely amazing.
you are the legs.
Yeah. The golf cart you're riding in is the legs.
To come back to the point of the innovation within the space and how do you do it? That one in particular, the cargo in particular, was one where Brett's referencing the balance and the ability to load so much in there. It's trial and error, but that trial and error needs to be an abbreviated timeline because it's got to be ready to go. So the ability to print those parts inside and change the position of where the stays, which essentially are the bars that are inside, that allow the structure of the bag. We needed to, literally, we were changing those by centimeters.
Oh yeah.
Trying to get it balanced just quite right. So we could load it up with the number of water bottles we're able to.
I will add on this particular bag, the cargo, we're having some fun with it too. So whenever there's a golf equipment launch, whenever there's a golf ball launch, it tends to have a dedicated space on the floor. And there's quite a bit of merchandising around it. And when you walk in, this is a new driver from Callaway or TaylorMade or you name the company. We took a page from that and we've worked on, with Austin's help, we've worked on what is a cargo ship, and the cargo bag will be living on top of that cargo ship. So when you walk into the golf bag section at some of your local retailers, you're going to find this set up as you enter the golf bag area, and it'll scream new. It'll scream, come over and check me out.
How many colors is it available in?
It's going to be available in 11 colors.
Okay. What's this thing we're looking at right now?
This is the new, so we had the biggest and the baddest Callaway cargo. We now got a brand new version of our 2025 Hyperlight Zero, the lightest bag on the market, 2.9 pounds. And Austin has teased me a little bit with some of the marketing coming out when this thing launches. It is unbelievable, just how light this bag truly is. Brian alluded to it earlier on the caddies. One thing we really dove into with this bag is leaning on our caddy council. So our caddy council is a council of 11 caddies across the country at the best courses in the country. So Bandon Dunes, Augusta National, you name it, we have a caddy there that is player testing our bags. And as we know,
were you the player that got to walk with the caddy to play Augusta National?
You know, I was not. I put him out.
You should have lied, man. They don't know the truth.
But this bag, validated by the best caddies in the world, and this is the true walking bag. For that player that's looking for that very slim silhouette, sub 3 pounds, they're walking 18, they're walking 36 holes. This bag is it for them.
Yeah, so
On top of that,
They were just asking for a twirl, so let's see what we got. Perfect.
in the office,
Get
this
the
thing has
twirl
been
in there.
the hottest commodity too. We can't keep the samples in stock. Everybody wants the Hyperlight.
That's awesome.
And it's just differentiated from in the Fairway C and the HL0 were getting a little bit too close to each other in the silhouette, and now they're very much differentiated. And our reps are out there selling this in as we speak. They've been kind of going through their fall run, and clubs that have never carried our golf bag before have all of a sudden seen this. And like I said, this could be a home run.
So we did an event at Ballyhack Golf Course, which is what I'm wearing right now. And that is, Austin's been there. It's a very up and down, crazy course. But the routing, because there's canyons, mean you have to walk around, or in this case, drive around to most of the holes. Well, they had a bad storm go through right before then. And this was a fantasy football experience. We had Adam Rank from the NFL Network out there, and we were having some fun with it. And then all of a sudden they said courses or carts aren't allowed on the course. Do you guys still want to walk? And these guys braved it out, walked. I quit at 9. They looked like absolute death coming in. They could have used this in a big way. I watched a guy carry a single strap for 18 holes around that canyon. And they could have used this in a big way.
It's a very hilly property, and this bag is great for that type of walk. So I grabbed real quick, JB. I grabbed the Fairway C so we could really show the differentiation. How
there you go.
The silhouette of this has gotten far more compact than maybe where it was in 2023. To be able to show off the differences between Fairway C here and Hyperlight here.
So, okay, I'm going to get personal, not in a weird way, but as a Hyperlight Zero user from the last generation, one of my things I liked was, I'm pretty horrible at golf, so I could fit 24 golf balls in there. Can I still do that with this one?
Yeah, so I traveled with the Hyperlight Zero to a member guest and had 24 in the ball pocket itself, in the packaging. So it's large enough, even in the ball pocket alone, to hold those 24, no problem.
I like that. I like hearing that. And colors available on this?
Josh, I didn't use all the balls, but I had them just in case.
Yeah, I've seen you play. I know that's true.
Yeah, and for those, Josh, for those that have in the past heard about these sub 3 pound bags and had been to that movie and seen the bag destroyed because it was too lightweight, it was almost like a tent material, and the bag just didn't stand the test of time. That, as part of our team and what we do with our products, we came up with the right material to embrace the durability factor. So sub 3, great carry, and durable. That's a pretty good formula.
Yeah, ripstop.
That's and still double strap, still not 14 way. Thank God. That would obviously weigh way more and be useless.
Yeah, double strap. What we've done with the strap system is it's on the quick clips. So they come off super easy. We've heard of a lot of folks that still want single strap, even though, you know, my story back to 1993 with the double strap and Izzo, there's still the single strap user who that's what they prefer. So we now have, with the use of the quick clip system, we have a single strap available up on our website, $20, where it just quick clips right in there, and now you have a single strap. So the bag itself, it comes with the double strap, but a single strap is available, and that's the same case on anything that has the quick clip system. So the Fairway series, you can also get a single strap on that. But
that goes back to my theory of golfers not liking change.
Yeah.
Exactly. 9 pockets overall, so 24 balls. You can definitely find a home for that. Carbon fiber legs, the 4-way top divider with the shaft shield. That shaft shield is that rubber overmold that gives a very different look, but also protects better than the mesh. The mesh over time, it wears out, and then you are exposed to ultimately what is plastic underneath there. This is rubber, which we've tested this now for a couple of years, and that rubber, it's built for a long time. It's not going to wear out the same way the mesh does. So really, really good package. You know, some of the other innovations that we have, the Flex Pod base, which is contained within the silhouette itself. So bags of the past, we had the pedal that came up just a little bit, and we got feedback that pedal gets caught on stuff. It actually breaks. So we now, with the Flex Pod, we brought that back to the silhouette of the bag. I think you can see it there. Similar to a Flex base, but it actually affords the ability on this Flex Pod to get the legs out. We talked about those side hill lies and the wet grass. It allows for full actuation of those legs 4 inches before it actually hits the ground. So that's the standard that we have coming out of the factories. We got to make sure every bag going out 4 inches before the legs actually hit the ground.
How about that snapback too?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask what everybody seems to always want to know about this when it comes to, first, I have 2 questions. First, do you guys fear that, like when you created the last gloves, that by putting shaft shield on, people replace their bags less than they already do? That's a genuine question, because the mesh wore out so freaking fast on golf bags. Like, is that a legitimate fear?
It is, and it goes back to, I think how you opened it, right? With a $3,500 set of clubs in the 10-year-old golf bag. I mean, we see that all the time. But we hope we know through some of the different colors, the different blocking, and the different patterns that we have coming out. We do a trend analysis right now, which I do believe, having had the opportunity to be at a couple other places, I do believe we're the only one in the performance gear space that's actually looking at trends on colors as well as patterns, and pulling that in. So we're going to keep it interesting from an overall aesthetic and look perspective, but we're not going to pull back on quality. We're Callaway. We're putting quality product out there.
That was one of the questions that came up, is we had quite a few people ask any crazy patterns. You know, Ogio has been known to do that kind of stuff over the years. Is Callaway going to follow that a little bit, or are they going to be more traditional in colors?
Yeah, definitely. And perfect question to ask, because we have a capsule coming out in 2025 that will be 3 different print patterns with a brand new logo execution that our design team has created. This collection is going to be really a staple, as Tom alluded to it, focusing on those trend reports, focusing on what's really what's working in the fashion community right now. That will be integrated within our Fairway C, Fairway Plus, and Fairway 14 families. Those are going to be some pretty cool drops that you'll see coming along in early 2025.
Big one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tease it this early?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're
Real exclusive here.
They're going to be 3 different drops we're going to do. First is going to be a paint splatter in 3 different paint colors. a very unique design that will be found in the C Plus and 14. The second one is going to be a palm tree print. As you guys know on the call, our brothers are up the road at Travis Matthew are known for their palm trees on their hats, palm trees on their shirts. We took some inspiration from them and really integrated it within some of our golf bags. So you'll see.
I mean, you're in San Diego. There's palm trees there too.
There's a few. There's definitely a few. Some good weather as well.
Ballyack has it as well.
So
I don't think so.
You'll see a collection of 3 different palm tree prints. And then last but not least is going to be a plaid argyle print. The argyle is an absolutely beautiful print, a very subtle twist to a plaid. So 3 different prints for a collection drop coming in early 2025. And that will all be with an alternative Callaway logo that I think everyone on this call will just truly love.
So I'm going to ask a question that everybody always wants to know, but when we get into these live things, they think you can see all their comments. They're always afraid to ask. Why do golf bag legs suck so bad? And what has Callaway done to change that?
Great question. Want to take that one?
Yeah, legs, to clarify, legs in what sense?
That they start going like this,
Bambi.
Yeah.
you know, when you load it in properly. Now, I noticed with my Hyperlight Zero, it didn't happen. And I don't know if there was a conscious effort, because I never asked Austin about that in the 2023 lineup. But what can golf companies do to fix it? Because it's not just a Callaway issue. And or like I said, the last bag I had didn't do it at all. So what has Callaway done to fix it is maybe the better way to phrase it.
Absolutely. So one thing we've really focused on the last 2 years is going to be the tension within that spring wire and making sure that the actuation is coming out. A lot of the times the bambying effect is when the legs are either getting actuated too much or when they're not getting actuated enough. So there is a sweet spot there. And we try to deploy our legs, as Tom said, 4 inches high above the ground before it's deployed or after it's deployed. And then about 28 inches wide is our sweet spot for legs. Within that,
how does that compare to the rest of the golf industry?
Rest of the golf industry, depending where the leg is, whether the product has a low rider comparable type technology, or if the legs are up to the top, we see anything within that 24 mark. And some companies are even going to be a little wider around that 30. So at Callaway, our engineering team has really narrowed it down to that 27 to 28 inch mark is that sweet spot. And then also little things such as carbon legs. That's something on the Hyperlight Zero for 25 that we're making sure carbon legs are something that helps us out a lot. Looking at the feet of the legs as well, making sure we have a durable rubber there. What shape is that rubber? Making sure that if it's a smooth garage floor, that it's not going to slide on that. That is all stuff we validate during the player testing process.
Fantastic.
That we're always looking at.
Yeah, there were.
So I'm going to switch gears because there's a lot of people who have asked about gloves.
JB, just real quick.
Sure.
Yeah. There were over 40 different iterations. And by iterations, it's a golf bag, right? How complex is it? Obviously, you have a following that understands engineering better than the typical consumer, but there's plastics that are coming together with fabrics through rivets, through stitching, molded parts. There's actually a ton of engineering that goes into these golf bags, especially from a stand perspective of where there's no electronics in here. There's no batteries. There's no solar. There's nothing that makes this work other than force and tension, leverage ultimately. So it's a matter of trial and error, and it's everything. Brett alluded to it. It's the gauge or the thickness of the wire. It's where the wires actually attach on the legs and via how, with what linkage. And are they inside or are they outside? How's the hinge up at the top? And is that outside or more inside? How does that ultimately then connect to the bottom? Is it via a U shape or via a straight bar? So there's a ton of engineering that goes into this, which we did over 40 different iterations of it to get to, why are the legs so crappy? And ultimately trying to make that as good as we could. And we're really, really happy for 25 with where we're at. Appreciate
the in-depth information, because like I said, I didn't notice it with the last iteration, but I noticed it with, I'm fortunate enough to test every bag on the market, and we see it a lot. They just completely go. Switching gears to gloves, because people were talking up a storm about the different gloves. What's changed? What's new? What can you share? Weatherspan did phenomenally well with our audience. Kudos. I don't know what to say there. It was a Callaway glove. People didn't really play a lot of Callaway gloves before that. It didn't seem like, and that's one that was talked about. I can guarantee without checking anything that we have the longest running commentary on a golf glove on the internet on the Weatherspan. It's not, and I'm sure it's not even close.
Josh, was that one of the first comments? Was it, how do you make the glove so durable? Because I haven't replaced my glove in 2 years.
I know, bad business model.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Start wearing two.
Yeah.
So how do you change, if people this is another weird one, going back to golfers don't like change, but if somebody's used to the feel of something, golf ball, golf glove, hat, whatever it is, how do you change that to improve it if there is a change to be made without scaring people off?
Great question. I'm going to have Corinne address it. Before I do, I just want to let everyone know, thank you for giving Callaway gloves a chance, because our market share in 4 years has almost tripled. And so our neighbors across the country, we are now knocking on the door to becoming the #2 glove in the entire industry with the momentum we have. It's that same attention. You can hear the passion in Tom and Brett's voices when they talk about the bags. That passion resonates across every category. Gloves is one where the market share comes out every month from Golf Data Tech, and we ring the bell. It keeps going up and up. So thanks for everyone.
Literally ring the bell?
Yeah, we do.
We literally,
We're gonna have to give you
Pretty awesome.
Go ahead, Chris.
It seems like a video needs to be shot of that.
Yeah, it's exciting. So when I started working with Brian, something that we really wanted to decide and fix was, what are you going to do to a glove? It's kind of been the same thing for a really long time. So what we did is we innovated. That was something that we said we need to put innovation into something that's been really the same year after year. So I will give you guys a quick sneak peek at our new Tour Authentic glove. If you look closely, it does look very similar to a golf ball that is out there already. This was done on purpose because this is really our pinnacle piece right now.
They're not a different brand. You can say Chrome Tour.
True. So this is super exciting for us because we did launch this glove back in 22. At the time, we did innovate. We did put grip tack in our glove. This is a proprietary process that we've come up with along with our supply base. But what we've learned through the years and testing is that this can actually get better than what it was back in 22. One of the biggest things that we noticed, when you play with this glove and your hand heats up, the grip actually performs better. So similar to when you wear a rain glove and it gets wet and it actually performs better with the grip, so does our full leather glove, which is something.
Why is that?
It's this process that we put into this glove. It's proprietary, so obviously I can't give you the secret formula, but it is something that we've proven and tested. And our tour players are super excited about this glove too. This is something that they all wear. I get feedback all the time from tour players that this glove is amazing. It's durable, which is actually a big deal for a full leather glove. Usually leather gloves don't last more than a few rounds, but this has lasted so many more rounds than any other glove that we've tested out there. We just do extensive testing on these. So this is not something we're just passing out randomly. We are hitting up our caddy council. We have a sales rep council. We have the people outside of the company and inside. So really, we are putting these things through the ringer because we want you to have a product that's going to last and really perform.
And just for context, we're talking about the new 2025 Tour Authentic.
Right.
For those at home.
Yeah.
When will this hit market, or is it hit market in Sunbelt already?
Yeah, so it is out available at Sunbelt. You'll see some customizable options. One of the big options.
Wait, come again? You glossed over that quickly.
What? The
customizable?
Customizable, yes. So something at Greengrass that you will see, especially in the Sunbelt right now, is our UV customization. This is really,
I can get a Sweet Villages one.
Yes, this is very, very cool. Because so if you think about it, a lot of people really don't like wearing coins, right, on their gloves because it's the way. And sometimes
they do if they use a 14-way bag.
You know what? There is a consumer for it.
There it is.
There it is. We found it.
You're welcome.
And JB, this UV process is what we do every year for the Granddaddy, where we print that beautiful G on the
Yeah.
coat.
Yeah, it's
we got them for the Goat Cup as well a few years back.
Yep.
That's really, really cool.
Yep. So we are the only ones doing this right now. It's a way for you to get your full logo, like all the colors, all the details that maybe you wouldn't get in a ball marker. You're going to get this in this UV process. The durability is incredible on this one. You can't lose it, right? Because it's embedded into the glove. So that's a process that we're very, very excited about.
Yes.
We've seen a lot of success with.
So not only is the product being looked after, right, the quality, the innovations, but making sure the whole Callaway brand and the micro brand Tour Authentic is elevated in how we customize the glove itself, customize the package. So when the member or the golfer walks into the golf shop, they can get this beautiful package. It's all about, it's from A to Z. We got it covered.
So Tour Authentic changing, obviously, not just packaging, but an actual glove. What else is fresh and new? Is everything else staying in line? Typically with performance, aren't you normally a couple of years before a change takes place?
Yeah, so our gloves have a 4-year life cycle. So we are already starting to work on 27 right now, which is crazy to think. But yes, these are a 4-year life cycle. So you will have this glove in
very old then.
Yeah, exactly right.
You are already.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
no, hey, just real quick, JB. So I always assimilate the TA to like that muscle back that the tour players use, right? And
yeah,
that thing's been so validated. And the one thing that tour feedback will say is don't overthink this. Don't change it too dramatically. If it ain't broke, don't fix it is one of the sayings we have in the South. That's kind of the take on TA. It's refinements and it's seeking perfection within this product.
So if you are a WeatherSpan user, because we have a lot of them on here, what's the benefit of going to TA or vice versa?
So I would
other
say,
than just a cost thing.
Yeah, obviously cost is quite different, but I would say going into the Tour Authentic, you are going to get that feel and that added grip that I had talked about that you're not seeing in the other leather gloves in the industry. WeatherSpan, I don't know if everyone knows about this, is an incredible glove. So again, that it's packed with performance and innovation. I'll just briefly touch on our Fuse Tech. Really, the biggest thing with that is the synthetic in that glove. Something that everyone else does in their synthetics is dual layer the pieces, so they kind of attach them together, which is where you're seeing delamination over maybe a year or two. With our glove, it is one piece. It's all embedded into one, so you're not going to have the peeling that you're going to see in a lot of the other synthetics. But you're getting tons of stretch and breathability, durability. So it's really become one of our best gloves that we have in our line.
So I see behind us there's some hats. I'm a hat guy. I'm going to have one question before you kind of dive into hats. And this is probably the wrong question to ask a business that's trying to sell hats. But can somebody answer a question for me when hats became $50? And I don't mean Callaway. I mean every place. I feel like it went from 25 to 50 overnight. Is that really what happened? I know they're expensive as hell to make because we make them. I know it's not you guys overcharging. We make hats. So when did hats go to $50?
I was going to say, there's some brands out there that are higher than that. I mean, inflation's a real thing. Obviously, it's hitting everyone. So that was a big challenge for us because we didn't want to just put out a cotton dad hat or, for $50, right? So we worked close with our supply base, our engineers, developers, and again, put innovation into the hats to really help make them perform and make them worth that price point that you're going to pay for them.
Gotcha.
No
So what do we have new?
For us. I don't know if you heard
We
that,
have
but
new
yeah,
here behind you.
go ahead.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So this is one of our new ladies hats. If you look closely, we do have this new Callaway script logo. You will see that on some other products. This is something that we're really pushing for the women's line. We got a lot of great feedback from internally, externally. We have a women's golf council that I'm actually part of. And this new script logo has really resonated. It's a little bit softer than kind of the old English logo that we're used to. So this is a really great logo that we're very excited about. And another hat, I just want to point out, we got a ton of feedback that we needed this in the line. So this is Akshay's Tour Rope Hat. This is something that's super popular. It's quickly becoming our #1 hat for the Tour brand right now. So
Man, people love rope hats.
I mean, they're so popular right now. Let's be honest.
Wait, show that again, 18. What's on the side?
So that'll have
Work?
all the branding, the new hard good branding that will be coming out.
I like that.
Yeah. So really
I thought
excited.
for a second it had a different name on the side rather than.
No, no, we're smarter than that.
Yeah, okay, just making sure.
I don't need Neil Javins going off on, you know.
Yeah, you can be pulled into HR after.
Wait, one more time.
Yeah, I thought I saw something different. I was like, oh shit, sorry.
Hey, let me go back real quick. So this hat, just because that the women in your life maybe don't play golf, this hat is great for the Peloton or those long walks. It's just a great lifestyle hat in general. So it's a
You've
good.
met our audience. Neither of those things are happening.
Everybody's got a mom at some point. So anyway, so super lightweight. It's fantastic. It's the hat that my wife requests whenever she's worn through one already. She's on to the next training aid. So just wanted to point that out too. There's so much innovation in this space happening.
I wanted
That was my next question. So again, it goes back to the same thing of people believe a hat is a hat. And that's really not the case. And if you go to a high-end club and you pick up the different hats, you'll see immediately that not all things are created equally, despite what the price tag says. So what is Callaway doing specifically, rather without going into proprietary stuff, that changes or makes a hat better, or something they should at least seek out, rather than it's not just a fashion statement?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing that I would look for in a hat is the material. I know it's something that maybe not everyone gravitates towards right away. They're usually looking at logos and colors, but really feel the material that you're putting on your head, because with us, every hat that we put out there has a performance feature, whether it's moisture wicking, UV, cooling. All of our sweatbands have a cooling. We have a stretch sweatband. Obviously, that's a comfort piece, but there's always a part of innovation and performance in all of our hats. That's something that's really important, because if you think about it, this is a sport. This is not just a fun little pastime. Like, you're sweating out there, you need protection, you need warmth sometimes, wherever you're playing. So really, when we make these hats, yes, we include fashion because that's a big part of it, but really it needs to perform and be a product that you're using when you're playing.
We're really big on fit too, so that when golfers purchase a Callaway hat, they know that they can trust the fit generation after generation. So fit's a big thing for us. But even minor details, like when we finish a hat with the Callaway logo, the branding on the taping on the inside of the hat, 4 years ago, it was blank. We want to make sure that Callaway purchasers, brand fans see the Callaway brand. It just upgrades the quality. And one other thing I wanted to talk about is, for those that are wondering about this rope trend, it's not slowing down anytime soon. Normally, the golf business is a few years behind everyone else. But if you watch the NFL on Sundays now, every coaching staff is wearing nothing but rope. We were loving seeing that, because we've got a lot of it baked into the future, which is great.
Straight out of the 80s spring training games with the dudes keeping score on their little card there.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Sadly, I was that guy.
JB, are there any pertinent questions that have come out from our forum?
It's going so fast. I mean, literally, do you have bucket hats?
Yes, we are relaunching all of our bucket hats in 25. You're going to see some really fun looks with those, and a new logo on one of them. So stay tuned for that one. But again, they're available at Greengrass and Sunbelt.
So here's an interesting question that came up from multiple people is there's a hat brand by the name of Melon, and their hats are absurd. It's like buying a Kia. And there's some, I guess, performance benefits to something like that. Personally, they did not fit me. It felt like I was wearing a hat made of metal on top of my head. But there are people who love that, and there's a high performance feature list. I'm not going to say high performance, but high performance feature list that goes with those. Is Callaway looking towards that type of thing for hats?
So I'd say we're already there, honestly. A little peek behind our curtain is we make our headwear at the same factory that this brand makes theirs at. So we're keen on everything that goes into theirs, and we are right up there with it without the price point. The weight on theirs feels to me a little bit too heavy for the sport. So
I'll say.
Yeah. So we pride ourselves on having a lot of lightweight options to keep you cool. But yeah, again, without that price point. So I'll just leave that.
Okay. I always find, and you know, there's something to be said about that with golf in general. And I'm known to rant about things a time or two, but the idea that if something is more expensive means it's better, it definitely can stick to that trend in golf. I mean, if somebody came out with the greatest putter ever made and they priced it at $99, people would pass right by it. You know, Odyssey would make the case against that for a lot of years, though. So maybe this is all for naught. But I do think that hat brand came into the space as very expensive, and it made people pay attention to it right away because of the price tag, not because of what really existed. So yeah, that's an interesting side of it, that you don't have to pay that price tag necessarily to be there.
Yeah, that's how, you know, you establish, you know, we've got this established Callaway brand. We are so lucky to have the Callaway brand in our back pocket and everything we do. So to elevate the quality of our products throughout the line, and make it available at a great price, at a great value across the line, that's what we target that every day. And you're right, lightning in a bottle can happen in this golf business, much like any other business, whether it was, Tom mentioned Stitch early on, 6-7 years ago. They came into the space and wow, who's this company? And they just did something a little bit different, and folks were willing to pay for it. And Melon's done a very nice job with their headwear lineup for sure, and keeping it fresh and innovative.
So performance gear in general, I've always said that that's like the greatest name for a soft goods section in the world. It resonates more than it probably should. What is one thing outside of the stuff you've discussed already that you want the audience to say, okay, 2025 is here, or in the Villages or South Florida or whatever, or Texas, Arizona, that's already there, that you want them to at least go out and look at? We're not asking people to buy anything, but go out and check this out. What is the one thing you want people to jump to that you haven't mentioned already?
Tom, you want it? Or I can take it if you want. Well, I will say, Josh, the one thing we talk about in this building all the time is we love our Callaway brand fans, love them. But at the end of the day, in the golf bag space, we want people looking for our golf bag, wanting to purchase our golf bag, regardless of the Callaway logo on it, the branding. We want people buying our golf bag because it's the best damn golf bag in the space. And so that is our focus every damn day.
And that rings true for the gloves too.
Oh, it's every product. We started with the bags, as that was kind of our spotlight. But and Tom mentioned it earlier, the carry experience. We talk about that all the time. But every one of our products, we want people buying it because it's the best product for their game.
That message resonates with me more than you know. I always say that, you know, you don't have to be the smartest, the cheapest, the most expensive, but you could always work harder. And it resonates, I think, with our audience. I don't know, but I hope they get a chance to check these things out. And I appreciate you guys. For you guys who are following along, who are here to win a contest, don't worry. We're going to announce the winner on the forum at the conclusion of this. I don't know how to do that while we're on live. I'm sure there's a way, but I'm not that smart. But we want to thank you guys for coming on and being open to share this stuff. I can tell the people who are following along, we didn't have a conversation ahead of time about what we're going to talk about. I prefer not to do that. I prefer to go kind of as we do. And I think it's a little more genuine that way. And they didn't have any, don't talk about this. Clearly I'm bringing up other brands. It says something to an audience in my mind about how genuine something is when you're willing to just have an open live stream and take questions and do whatever you'd like. And I think this came across that way. So my last question to the group is, what golf bag do you use personally?
HL0.
Hyperlight Zero.
I'm Hyperlight Zero, but we've got a new premium stand bag that's coming out.
See, I've been waiting. I knew somebody was going to drop it.
You were ready for it.
Got it out of us.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to say anything about it, or are you just going to drop that nugget in there?
Blue.
The one thing I'll say is 4 years ago when I walked into this building to just 2 weeks ago, the bag landed in the Sun Belt markets for the first time. We spent so much time making sure that this bag was right. We weren't going to launch it until it was ready. Not only is it ready, but we are fired up. Our sales reps are coming back to us saying that they can't believe some of the doors that they're opening and the excitement level with this stand bag that'll go toe to toe with the best of the best out there.
There's a lot of people who are just like, wait, like we don't get to see it, you know? No, you don't.
That's all.
People are asking, is it in Texas? Is it in Arizona? Is it in Georgia? Somebody said, AT, you're from Georgia. Can you at least make sure they get it there?
Arizona, Florida, and that's pretty much it, right? Yeah.
Man, you guys hate Nashville.
Palm Springs. So yeah, here it is. It's a beauty.
Is that your bag?
Yeah.
Did they quickly just dump everything out of it?
Magnetic. Go ahead, Tom.
Every detail meticulously over.
Screenshots going on like crazy right now.
Yeah, right. Snap. It really all starts with the material. And as I mentioned before, how many iterations we have to go through to get something that's commercially viable and ready for market. The material was the thing that we pained over, working directly with mills to get the material just right. Notoriously, these PU bags, they're heavy. So we wanted to come out with a different story on it being a more lightweight bag. So we're about a pound lighter, large part because of the material. The material has a beautiful plush feel to it, plush finish, but there's also performance characteristics in it of a four-way stretch. So the material is the basis of this collection that ultimately we're defining as the Summit collection, the peak of performance. If you notice as we go through it, the Callaway branding is minimal. We know this consumer is not someone who's looking for loud and proud logos. They're more tonal in execution, and it's much more discreet. So then as we go through the details, every detail meticulously crafted. The touch points, whether on a handle or a zipper pull, has a material, Clarino, almost like a micro suede. Clarino is something that's used in high-end racing cars on the steering wheel, the shifter, the handles. We wanted to give that feel to this particular product for this particular user. Magnetic pocket that has velour lining. What we found through testing is it's not so much about that specifically being the tee pocket and that specifically being the ball pocket. Everyone has a different preference for where they put things. This was coming back as this is where I put my GPS. So we wanted to afford the user that ability. So we are velour lined that on a magnet, quick access. We also have a velour lined pocket for valuables just behind the glove pocket on the side. We have a concealed, we don't want to just put mesh on the outside. We have a concealed cooler lined drink pocket on the outside, a ball pocket that has a net in the back for ball markers, tees, slip pocket, couple of slip pockets on the other side, scorecard, pen, single strap that comes on the bag as it ships, but then also inside the apparel pocket will have the dual strap. These are also the hardware. They're quick. These are quick snaps. So the hardware elevated, but you can quickly remove the single strap to put the double strap on. It's a cooling mesh. It's a phase change material, which means it absorbs the heat and disperses it. Somewhere landing between 2 or 3 degrees cooler. Obviously, if you are actually carrying the bag, that makes a big difference on your shoulder. Carbon fiber legs, again, coming back to the point of trying to keep it in a very carryable package. And then on the bottom, to make sure performance, this is using that FlexPod base that we introduced on the Fairway series a couple years ago. Within the silhouette, doesn't have a pedal coming up. And then that's affording us the ability, this one could be closer to 5 inches. Making sure that full actuation as the legs get out before it hits the ground is at least 4 inches. So this bag not only looks great, it performs great, it feels great. We're super, super excited to get this one out. 4-way, not a 14-way, 4-way divider up on the top. We did the mesh or the velour, just to give it a more elevated feel, which is similar to the staff bags that the tour players carry. A little more elevated, a bit more refined feel.
You're talking about details too. That hip pad is beautiful too.
Yeah, just this stitch detail that's within there, foam backed, but it has it's kind of hard to see, but it has a nice pattern in there that just gives it another elevated feel, kind of tapping back to that whole sports car mentality within inspiration there taken from of those higher end sports car and seats in particular.
And lastly,
will this be a green grass only bag, or will it be at retail? We're getting a ton of questions about where can people go buy it right now.
yeah, so there was a strategic decision on this one. This is a green grass focused golf bag, only sold through the Green Grass Golf Professionals and the Green Grass Channel. And it's been a real nice feather in the cap of our sales team to make that presentation in the Green Grass Channel. The off-course channel, over time, we're certainly going to look that way, but to get out of the gate and really build some buzz here, it'll be green grass focused. Great question.
Makes sense. So we started talking about what golf bag is and what I think we need to end it with that, because I think everybody is pretty much sold on this and they're going to try to find a club they can go visit to go pick one up. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We're going to have to do this again, especially as we get into 2025 after PGA show and people get a chance to start feeling these things, touching them, holding them, buying them, whatever they're doing, and get more questions about what can they get out of performance.
Love it. We appreciate the time today, Josh. We really do.
Absolutely.
No problem. Happy to do it. And for everybody, stay tuned. Go to the THP forum. We will announce the golden ticket winner in about 30 minutes.
And hey, Josh, I'll do this too. For anybody that has additional questions, feel free to reach out to me on the forum and we'll get those answered.
Yeah, if we have this thread, not this thread, a thread on this live stream on the forum, tag Austin in there if you have questions. He'll come in and answer them. Godspeed.
Everybody's going to have to log in here at the office to make sure we get them all answered.
Yeah, so go ahead and tag Austin. He'll answer all your questions. And if you have ones that you're not a member of our forum, that's okay too. Hit us up on social media, email, whatever way you want to, and we'll post them in the forum thread so Austin can answer them.
And we want to say thank you one more time for people dedicating time out of their lives to attend this. And I mean, it's always fun to see the amount of people that are so interested in this category. We're not talking about distance and forgiveness or spin or things like that. We're talking about a totally different category that strives to be the highest performance out of everything underneath the Callaway umbrella. So it's really fun for us to be able to get on here and not necessarily boast, but talk about what we're doing to change the game and make our competitors kind of sit at the end of their seat and wonder what Callaway is going to do next versus 5 years ago, maybe not having that same feeling.
Well said. So for myself and the group at Performance Gear, thanks everybody. We're going to sign off.
Thank you.
Thank you.